Attraction is not spoken, it is shown. And when a man is deeply, profoundly sexually drawn to you, the evidence isn't in cheap compliments or empty phrases. It's in his focus, his patterns, his inability to conceal the truth of his own biology. Desire, when authentic, bleeds through behavior. And if you're sharp enough, you'll see it. Understand this. People lie with words, but rarely with consistent action. That's why the first sign is found in his attention. Attention is the most expensive currency in existence because it costs energy, time, and presence. When a man is sexually attracted at the deepest level, his attention narrows. He notices details others overlook, the way you move, the inflection of your voice, the smallest change in your appearance. He can't help it. The brain is wired to track what it wants most. If his eyes return to you even in crowded rooms, if he seems unable to ignore your presence, that is not coincidence. It is instinct, and instincts are the truest signals of attraction. The second sign is consistency. Understand this, bursts of attention mean nothing if they fade when distraction enters. True attraction sustains itself. A man who is deeply drawn doesn't forget about you when the room changes or when his friends show up. His desire leaks through even when he tries to suppress it. He doesn't check in occasionally like it's a duty. He gravitates toward you like it's oxygen. If you remove the mask of casualness, you'll see the truth. Attraction has gravity, and gravity does not switch on and off at convenience. The third sign is restraint. Many assume raw attraction must show itself in impulsive outbursts, but that's weak attraction, immature, desperate. Deep sexual attraction has tension, and tension requires control. When he holds back, when he seems composed, yet you sense the fire beneath the surface, that is not lack of desire, it is proof of it, because what he truly wants, he does not want to ruin. Understand this paradox. The strongest desire often appears as discipline. He chooses his words carefully. He slows himself down. He restrains the impulse because the pull is too significant to risk destroying. That restraint is one of the most powerful signals of deep attraction. The fourth sign is clarity. Deep attraction does not live in confusion. You don't need to beg for validation or decode endless riddles. If he is profoundly sexually attracted, it will show in unmistakable ways. He seeks your presence. He remembers what you say. His body language leans in before his mind does. He doesn't forget you. He doesn't lose interest without reason. Attraction, when genuine, eliminates doubt. When it's real, you don't wonder, you know. And this is where you must be sharp. Because weak attraction is everywhere. Fleeting looks, shallow flattery, quick sparks that fade within days. Do not mistake that for power. Power lies in depth. A man who is deeply sexually drawn to you doesn't treat you like a distraction. He treats you like a fixation. You are not background noise. You are the signal. But here is the brutal truth. Attraction alone is not enough. You can be the most desired person in the room and still be treated poorly. So you must demand that attraction be paired with respect, discipline, and clarity of intention. Otherwise, it is nothing but wasted energy. Do not be fooled by shallow fire that burns fast and dies faster. Look for the fire that refuses to extinguish itself even under pressure. Understand what this means for you. If you can recognize these signs, you will never again waste time chasing words. You will read reality. You will see where the truth lies, and that awareness gives you power, because power comes from seeing clearly while others remain blind. So remember, attraction is revealed in attention, proven by consistency, intensified by restraint, and sealed by clarity. If you see these signs, you are not dealing with surface-level interest. You are standing in front of desire that runs deep, primal, undeniable. And when you know it, you stop questioning, you stop begging for reassurance, and you start choosing wisely. That is where it begins, because words are cheap and anyone can say them. Words can be rehearsed, polished, manipulated to create illusions. But behavior is where the mask falls away. Behavior is where the unconscious reveals itself. And when it comes to attraction, nothing speaks louder than consistent, undeniable action. Think about it. A man can say he's interested. He can tell you he desires you. He can fill your ears with compliments. But if his actions don't align with those claims, the truth is obvious. Desire that isn't backed by behavior is empty. Real attraction cannot be hidden for long. It leaks through in the small, unconscious things, the way his eyes track you when you move, the subtle shift in his posture when you enter a room, the attention he gives to details no one else notices. These things cannot be faked. They are instinct. They are proof. And this is why you must sharpen your perception. Most people are distracted by words, by the noise of flattery, by the superficial glow of sweet talk. They get pulled into phrases like "you're beautiful" or "I want you," and they mistake that for depth. But attraction at its core is not about saying, it's about showing. It's in whether he shows up when it matters. It's in whether he invests time, presence, and focus, even when it's inconvenient. If his actions contradict his words, his behavior reveals the truth. Real attraction is measured in consistency. A man who is deeply drawn to you doesn't vanish when something better comes along. He doesn't shift like a shadow when pressure arrives. His behavior remains steady. He gravitates toward you with a pull that is difficult to suppress, and you can feel it because attraction, when genuine, is not fragile. It has gravity. It pulls. But here's the paradox. The strongest attraction is often expressed through restraint. When desire runs deep, it is rarely reckless. It doesn't need to explode into careless words or desperate actions. It shows itself in the way he holds back, in the discipline with which he controls what he feels. That tension, the balance between wanting and waiting, is where true depth lies. Weak attraction rushes forward without thought. Strong attraction pauses, calculates, and respects the weight of what it feels. That restraint is not lack of desire. It is the highest proof of it. This is why you must learn to see what others miss. Look beyond the phrases. Watch for the actions that repeat over time. Does he lean in, not just once, but consistently? Does he remember the details you barely recall saying? Does he place himself in your orbit again and again without needing to announce it? These behaviors reveal what words can only pretend to cover. Attraction, at its deepest, does not create confusion. When it's real, you don't sit in endless doubt. You don't need to chase for clarity or beg for reassurance. His actions make it evident. His presence answers the question before you even ask it. That is the power of behavior. It simplifies what words try to complicate. And here is the truth. You must never forget, behavior reveals value. If a man claims to want you but does not align his actions with that claim, then the attraction is shallow, fleeting, disposable. But if his behavior demonstrates focus, discipline, consistency, and clarity, then you are witnessing something stronger, something undeniable. So the lesson is simple but brutal. Do not listen to what is said. Watch what is done. Do not let words cloud your vision. Anyone can speak desire, but only those who feel it deeply can show it without breaking consistency. Attraction is revealed in the eyes that cannot help but return to you, in the silence where presence speaks louder than compliments, in the patterns of behavior that repeat long after the words fade. If you learn to trust behavior over speech, you gain power. You stop being fooled by empty promises. You stop wasting time on those who only pretend. And you start seeing reality for what it is. Because in the end, attraction is not about what someone claims. It is about what cannot be hidden. That's the line you must lock into your mind. Because attraction, real attraction, doesn't live in casual words or careless gestures. It lives in the quality of attention. The strongest signal a man can give you is not what he says once, but how his focus lands on you again and again, like gravity refusing to loosen its grip. Understand this, human beings are wired to chase what captivates them. We cannot fake focus for long. Where attention goes, energy flows. If he gives you fractured, inconsistent attention, if he only looks at you when it's convenient, then his attraction is shallow, passing, surface level. But if his gaze finds you in a crowded room, if his body shifts unconsciously toward your presence, if his awareness narrows when you speak, then you are not dealing with weak interest. You are standing in the field of true intensity, and intensity is the deepest form of proof. Attention is the most expensive resource a person can give. Money can be earned again. Words can be rehearsed. But attention is finite. When someone gives you consistent, undivided focus, it costs them something. It drains energy. It demands effort. And people do not pay that cost without desire driving them. That is why attention is the purest currency of attraction. But here's the key. It's not just about whether he notices you once. It's about how he notices you every time. A man who is deeply attracted won't simply glance at you. He studies you. He tracks the smallest changes, the tone of your voice, the movement of your hands, the shift in your mood. He doesn't have to be told to care. His brain is locked onto you because attraction sharpens focus. That intensity is not casual. It is instinctual. Think about what intensity feels like. It's not frantic. It's not noisy. It's steady, piercing, impossible to ignore. When his attention is on you, you feel it without him saying a word. You feel the difference between polite interest and raw pull. His presence doesn't scatter. It concentrates. That is the mark of deep attraction, when his attention becomes a spotlight and you are the center of it. And yet, intensity is revealed not only in how he looks at you, but also in how he listens. Anyone can stare, few can truly listen. But when a man is profoundly attracted, his listening deepens. He remembers details you barely notice sharing. He responds to things others ignore. His memory is shaped by desire because what we value, we retain. This is not romance for show. This is the unconscious at work. His attraction builds a file in his mind and you are at the top of it. But there's something even more important. Intensity survives time. Shallow attention burns bright for a moment and then fades as quickly as it came. But deep attraction continues. Even when distracted, even when busy, his awareness returns to you. This is why the truest test is not the beginning, but the continuation. Does his attention persist after the novelty fades? If it does, then you are witnessing desire that runs deeper than impulse. Now, let's go further. Intensity is not reckless. Weak men think attraction means chasing loudly, speaking endlessly, flooding you with compliments. But that's not intensity. That's insecurity. True intensity is controlled. It doesn't need to shout. It doesn't need to prove itself. It manifests in silence, in focus, in the way his attention holds without interruption. The stronger the attraction, the less it has to announce itself. Real intensity is quiet fire. This is why you must train yourself to observe. Do not let words deceive you. Do not get lost in shallow gestures. Instead, ask, where does his attention fall? How often does it return? How consistent is it under pressure? Because behavior reveals what words try to disguise. And nothing is clearer than attention. And here is the truth. If you command intensity in his attention, it is because you've reached a level of presence he cannot ignore. That is power. That is leverage. And that is why you must not settle for scraps of distracted energy. If a man cannot focus on you, then his attraction is weak. But if his attention is sharp, unwavering, disciplined, then you are looking at proof that runs beyond surface desire. So remember this, intensity shows in his attention. It's not in how loud he speaks, but in how deeply he notices. It's not in shallow flattery, but in consistent focus. It's not in temporary sparks, but in enduring gravity. And when you learn to read attention, you will never again mistake weak interest for powerful attraction, because intensity cannot fake itself. It shows, it persists, it speaks louder than words ever could. That's where the real power lies, because raw attraction without control burns out fast. It looks desperate. It feels chaotic. It creates noise, but no depth. The men who chase every impulse, who blurt out every thought, who rush into reckless pursuit, those men show you weakness, not strength. Real desire doesn't need to explode everywhere. Real desire holds its ground. It restrains itself, and that restraint multiplies the power of attraction. Think of it this way. What we cannot immediately have becomes more valuable. Scarcity sharpens desire. If someone throws everything at you without pause, it feels excessive, overwhelming, even cheap. But when a man is deeply attracted and chooses not to indulge every impulse, when he controls his energy, when he tempers his actions, that self-restraint sends a powerful signal. It says, I want this, but I respect it enough not to destroy it. That balance between longing and discipline is where the fire becomes magnetic. Understand this. Control is not the absence of desire. It is the highest proof of it. Anyone can chase recklessly. Anyone can spill words of flattery. That takes no strength. But to feel intensity and yet hold it back, to experience pull and still discipline it, that requires willpower. And willpower is attractive because it reveals strength. Restraint amplifies attraction because it creates tension, and tension is the heartbeat of desire. Imagine a bow being drawn. The arrow doesn't fly immediately. It is pulled back, held, and the longer it is contained, the greater the force when it is finally released. That's what happens with controlled attraction. The pause, the hesitation, the patience. It builds energy instead of wasting it. You don't feel indifference, you feel anticipation. But restraint does more than build tension. It communicates value. If someone controls themselves around you, it's because they understand the importance of what they're experiencing. They are unwilling to risk it by being reckless. They are showing that you are not another passing moment. You are something they must approach with precision. That alone amplifies attraction because it shows seriousness behind the desire. Now contrast this with lack of control. A man who throws himself at you immediately, who overindulges in every word and gesture, reveals that his attraction is shallow. He's not thinking, he's reacting. That doesn't build depth, it destroys it. What seems like intensity at first quickly becomes suffocating. There is no weight behind it, only hunger. Hunger without control collapses under its own weakness. But controlled attraction, restrained attraction, is different. It breathes strength into the desire. It creates space for you to feel it without being drowned by it. You sense the fire, but you also sense the discipline. That combination, raw energy held back by self-mastery, is one of the most magnetic forces in human connection. Restraint also signals patience. And patience is a mark of real attraction. If someone is willing to wait, to hold back, to not rush the process, it's because the desire is not shallow. Shallow desire is urgent. It wants gratification now because it knows it won't last. Deep desire is calm. It can wait because it knows its intensity is not fleeting. That patience creates trust, and trust deepens attraction even further. So here's the lesson. Control is not weakness, it is strength. Restraint is not lack of desire, it is proof of deeper desire. When attraction is paired with discipline, it becomes more powerful, more compelling, more unforgettable. And this is not just about him, it is about you as well. Your own control and restraint amplify how others see you. If you give yourself away too quickly, if you reveal all your cards at once, you reduce the weight of your presence. But when you pace yourself, when you show that you are not desperate, when you hold back with discipline, you multiply your value. Scarcity fuels attraction. Restraint commands respect. So remember, attraction is not only about fire, it is about how that fire is contained. A flame uncontrolled burns everything to ash, but a fire disciplined can light the world. Control sharpens desire. Restraint amplifies its pull. Together, they turn ordinary attraction into something unforgettable. That is the foundation of strength in attraction, in relationships, and in life itself. Because confusion drains energy. Vagueness weakens resolve. Uncertainty creates insecurity. But clarity, it cuts through the fog. It makes intentions undeniable. It transforms what could have been a game of guesswork into something sharp, focused, and commanding. When someone is deeply attracted to you, clarity is not hidden. You do not have to decode endless riddles. You do not sit awake at night wondering if they mean what they say. True attraction eliminates doubt because behavior aligns with intent. If his actions and his presence make it obvious, then you know the truth. Power is in clarity. Think about the opposite. When a man is vague, when he hides behind excuses, when he scatters his energy between you and everything else, what happens? You feel confusion. You start second guessing. You waste mental energy trying to piece together fragments. That is not power. That is weakness. That is the sign of someone who is either unsure of what they want or unwilling to be honest about it. Neither deserves your time. But clarity Real clarity is unmistakable. It is seen in consistency. It is seen in commitment. It is seen in the way his attention returns to you no matter the circumstance. His words don't have to scream because his behavior already speaks louder than anything he could say. He shows you through repeated, undeniable action that his attraction is not shallow. Clarity is powerful because it builds certainty, and certainty is rare in a world full of distractions, half-hearted interest, and fleeting impulses. When someone gives you clarity, they are giving you the gift of stability. You don't have to doubt their intentions. You don't have to wonder if their attraction is real. That absence of doubt frees your mind to feel, to experience, to trust. That is why clarity multiplies attraction. It gives both people the freedom to lean into it fully. Now, let's break this down even deeper. Clarity is not about speaking constantly. It's about alignment. Anyone can say, "I like you." But if their actions contradict their words, then there is no clarity, only deception. True clarity exists when words and behavior match. He says he wants you, and then he shows up. He says he cares, and then he listens. He says you matter, and then he acts like you matter. That alignment, that oneness of word and deed is where clarity becomes undeniable. And what does that create? Respect. Because when someone is clear, they are strong. They are not afraid of honesty. They are not hiding behind games. They are not wasting your time with hesitation. And strength is attractive. Weakness hides. Strength reveals. Clarity also sets boundaries. A man who is truly attracted and clear about it will not leave you wandering in a maze of maybes. He will not keep you as an option on a shelf. He will not make you guess where you stand. His clarity says, "This is what I want. This is where I stand." That certainty commands respect, and respect amplifies attraction. Now turn this lesson inward. Your clarity is just as powerful. When you are clear about who you are, what you want, and what you will not tolerate, you amplify your own presence. People are drawn to those who know themselves. Vagueness repels because it signals indecision and insecurity. But when you stand with clarity, when your energy, your actions, your choices are aligned, people feel it. They are pulled toward you because certainty is magnetic. This is why power lies in clarity, because clarity eliminates confusion. It demands respect. It deepens attraction, and it creates an environment where real connection can thrive. Without it, everything collapses into games and wasted time. With it, everything becomes sharp, undeniable, and strong. So here is the truth. If you are wondering endlessly about where someone stands, the answer is already clear. They are not clear. And that lack of clarity is the answer itself. Do not settle for confusion. Do not glorify vagueness. If someone is truly drawn to you, if their attraction runs deep, their clarity will show. You will not need to guess. You will know.